Welcome back to another episode of the Long Gone Loser Rock Show, where today I have to talk about a record. I listened to it today and I just couldn't believe how good it was. Even after all these years, every time I put this record on, I'm still blown away by just how good this record is. I'm talking about Breaking Things by All. So this album recorded in 93 was like, oh my God. Like when I first heard this record, I was blown away. Like just instantly blown away by how good it was. Like it starts off with such a banger with the song Original Me. And I just remember like, I knew about the Descendents and I had only just recently discovered All at this time by hearing the song She's My Ex played on skate radio or Smash It Up or something like that on 3D radio or Triple M as it was back in the day. I was immediately blown away. She's My Ex I still think is one of the greatest songs ever written by anyone ever. If you've never listened to it, check it out. All's She's My Ex is just, that's absolute perfection. That is songwriting perfection. So this album, like I said, it came out in 93 and, before the punk rock explosion had happened. And so it was doing the rounds like, a CD was bought of it by somebody in our group. And, everybody borrowed the CD, taped it and listened to it until we could buy our own copy of it. Songs like Shreen, like, what a chorus. What do we do? What do you think we should do? It just blew my mind. Like seriously, it really blew my mind. And the song Right, oh my God. Like none of these songs are really, really long. Guilty is probably the longest one at 3 minutes and 19 seconds, which is kind of like a slower number anyway, but still great song. Fantastic song. And I remember I even have the stickers that came with this originally, like promo stickers. And they're on my guitar case, one of my guitar cases. One of them says All Breaking Things. The other one says Keep Your Politics Out of My Music, which is the last song called Politics, which is kind of funny because, punk rock pretty much is political. That's the whole idea of punk rock music, right? It is political. And so for someone to say, keep your politics out of my music, they don't want politics in any punk band's music. I don't know. I don't really get what their beef was with it, but we need bands like the Dead Kennedys and stuff like that because that music is still as relevant today as it was the day it was recorded, unfortunately. But yeah, this whole record is just amazing. I really, really love this album. Just everything on it is just phenomenal. Like, man, when you hear it, when it starts off and you hear Original Me, you're just immediately blown away over the, incredible songwriting. These guys always used like as much as they could in the shortest period of time. And that's what I found really unique with All. I mean, it's a little bit different to Descendants. I mean, Descendants is not as technical as All, even though it's the same backing band. But All is very, very technical. Like those guitar licks and stuff like that, the bass runs and things like that. I mean, the bass has always been good in both bands, but it's very different, like in All, how technical the guitar work is in it. They're using like interesting chord structures and technique and stuff like that to create the sounds that they create and the melodies that they create. But this album, man, like, oh God, I love this album so much. And if you've never listened to All's Breaking Things, do yourself a favor. The cool thing about this is that they toured Australia on this record. And I went to that tour and the opening bands were Numbskulls from Adelaide, Scream Feeder from Queensland, and the Meanies. And then All came on. And it was at the Tivoli Hotel. It was fantastic. I've actually got the poster of it somewhere. It's not on the wall though, it's in the cupboard, where it's actually signed. I got it signed by the entire band because it was at the Tivoli, so everyone's accessible at the Tivoli. And they were just cool. They were just hanging out and stuff and that and whatever. I even managed to get the set list. So if you are interested, this is everything that they played on that show. Yeah. Everything Sucks. Oh my God. Can you believe it? That song was played as the opening song before it was ever recorded for Descendants. How cool is that? But look at this. Look at these songs. Oh my God. Look how long this set list is. This set list is huge. She's My Ex, Coolidge, a nice mix of Descendants as well as, all songs, but finishing with Silly Girl. And why not, right? Love it. But man, this is such a good set list, and I'm so glad that I got it. You know, because they played a lot of songs, and I wanted to know what some of them were that I didn't know at the time. You know, this tour was what was it, 93 or 94? I'm trying to remember when they came. You know, I wish I could just look at that poster again and it would tell me on there what year it was, but it was either 93 or 94, probably the end of 93, because I remember them coming probably in the summertime. But man, what a show that was. That show was unreal. You know, we were very spoiled at that time. You know, we got so many good tours in the mid '90s there, and it was just always good bands. Like I remember Propaganda came out and played for $8. Like seriously, at the Crown and Anchor Hotel in Adelaide, insane, tiny place, probably holds like 200 people, maybe less. And they played there with All You Can Eat. But anyway, All's Breaking Things, I still think is one of the greatest records from that whole All Descendents thing. I love everything that they've done pretty much. But this album just has a really special memory for me because this was the actual first full length album of all that I got. And yeah, just immediately hooked. And then after that, I bought Always Revenge because She's My Ex is on it. And yeah, just became a diehard fan for both bands. But yeah, All Breaking Things. If you've never listened to it, please give it a shot and see what you think. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, look after each other, go buy some records, listen to all, and I will see you in another video. Bye bye.